Hey, what is up? How we doing? How we doing? How we doing? We're getting a bunch of stuff done today. We're doing a bunch of work with the rifle and the pistola. So, I want to talk about one-hand shooting. Now, there's a few things that I do differently one-handed, and we're going to discuss those. So, one-handed is something that a lot of people neglect, me included, for sure. And I've found a few little hacks, few little ways that I do it that's opposite of what the industry does, or at least what I know of. First things first, when I go to my left hand, my dot shakes a lot. For some reason, my left hand, I just shake, okay? So what I'll do, if you have this same problem with your weak hand and you're a little shaky, I'll actually disregard the dot. Unless it's a very precise shot I want to make, I'll disregard my dot and run my iron sights, because irons are a lot less visibly sensitive. So my dot shaking around like that just screws with me. So what I'll do is just go ahead and I use the RMR body, the bottom of the RMR body, just kind of looking through the RMR, and I use my iron sights. So I run a low set of irons, just enough to to use in a pinch. But when I'm shooting left-handed, that's what I'll do. So if you're ever having trouble and you feel shaky and too shaky with your red dot when you're one-handed or weak-handed, go ahead and run the irons. Then number two thing is, a while back somebody had the epiphany of canting their wrist inboard. And that's the natural way. And I've heard it analogized to boxing a lot, as in we don't punch like this, we punch like this. Well, anybody who knows anything, literally day one, about boxing, we don't punch like this. We punch like this. We turn our hands over, okay? Even when we're hooking, that's debatable, but we can turn palm up or palm down, okay? That's a debated thing. Never do we punch at a 45. So why that thing ever started, I understand that that's the natural way to put your hand out. But tell me one thing that the natural way to do it is actually the most effective. If I was to hand someone a golf club and just say, hit the golf ball, they're going to swing at it naturally. It's going to be terrible. Okay, golfing is very unnatural to get good at the actual swing of it. It's an unnatural thing. If I was to tell somebody to swing a baseball bat naturally, or tell somebody to shoot a jump shot naturally, gonna look like shit. So we don't really use natural. We use the most effective way, and then we make that way natural. The second part of why I don't like canting my wrist inboard is we're used to tracking sights up and down. We're used to looking at the gun, orienting the gun, putting the gun to target up and down, tracking sights up and down, all that stuff, straight up and down, vertical picture. Canting it inboard now just jacks that all up. Now, one thing I'll say, I would never have somebody change if they're doing well shooting with a canted wrist. Some people actually prefer it. I would never say, no, that's wrong, because it's not wrong. I just think that it's one of those things that kind of caught fire, and then instructors had this little hack thing that they were teaching, and it's just kind of one of those regurgitated things over the years. Now people use it. But I noticed that a whole lot of the very best shooters don't do that, okay? So the thing that I have started working on is actually canting my wrist slightly outboard. So when I present the gun to the target, I'm canted slightly out. And what that does is, when we're shooting one-handed, whatever side we have taken the support away from is usually the side that the gun wants to go to, okay? If we're shooting right-handed, the gun wants to go up and to the left. When I cant my wrist slightly outboard, now I'm just talking about a couple degrees, it brings my elbow in, it stiffens me up for some reason, and I can just drive the gun a little bit better. And I noticed all of a sudden my sights are starting to go straight up and down, okay? The gun's moving a little bit more than what I would like it to move, but it's still going straight up and down, and I'm used to that orientation. I'm used to looking at a gun go like this, straight up and down. So That's the way I like to do it. Third thing with one-handed shooting is, a lot of people will, okay, I'm going to shoot one-handed, they'll switch their whole stance up and do this whole thing. Again, I would never tell somebody not to if they like doing it that way and they're more effective that way. But I don't. I simply leave my fighting stance exactly where it is and come out to where now my gun isn't further away from my face than it usually is, because if I go like this, now the gun is 6 inches further from my face. What I want to do is make one-handed shooting as much like two-handed shooting as I possibly can. So I'm in my normal foot forward, just normal kind of balanced, stiff stance, and ding, 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 right? What we're going to do here is we are going to run a bill drill. This target right here is clean. We're going to run a bill drill one-handed and see what I can do. All right. Bill drill, 7 yards, clean target. I'm going to try to go sub 3. We'll see what happens. And I'm going to be canting slightly outboard. Then we're going to run one left-handed and see how ugly that is. Okay. Pulled one. Okay, but that gun is really tracking, and I actually got a little bit of a low grip on that one. 317. So let's take a look real quick. I just pulled one up a little bit high right there. The bottom one's a little low. So let's run that again and see what we can do. Okay, that's my first one-handed shots of the day too, so I'm gonna get a really solid high grip this time and try to drive a little bit harder into that thing. Let's do this. That is what is up right there. 290. You see that? 290, all clean. All clean. So remember this Charlie was from the first one. All clean. Perfect. Awesome. So that's pretty it's pretty sporty, I think, for one hand. So again, I'm canting that gun slightly out. And just driving that pistol, just trying my best to drive that gun and just trying to get it to go straight up and down. I'm not that worried about recoil control. I know the gun's moving a good bit, but I'm just really trying my hardest to get that gun to go straight up and down. .101. Okay, that's awesome. So try those couple things that I was talking about. Try what's up with that and see if you like any of those. Like I said, I would never tell anyone to switch something that they were feeling good at. But if you are struggling a little bit, again, experimentation is the key. Take her easy.